So why do we need an electric snow shovel anyway? You have me. Wait, oh, we're live? We're live. Wait, places everyone, places! Places!
Also, knowing you would individually reposition every snowflake. And while I admire your dedication to detail, it would take a while.
Oh, no, I don't have time for that. I would simply take all of the snow over here and form it into a snowman army over there.
Now you put that song in my head.
You're welcome.
Do you want a
Oh, that's a
snowman
different
army?
song. Different movie, in fact.
It doesn't have to be an army. We could make it a navy instead. Then we'd have icebergs.
Of course, the downside is the snowman army over there is in the neighbor's driveway. They now have more snow.
Depending on the
armed.
neighbor.
Oh, we've had a long-standing argument over whether or not the tree branch was something that had to be taken care of on my property or their property. This, by the way, is totally fictional. I live in an apartment, but never mind about that. So, yeah, it's a long-standing feud. So, the snowman army in their driveway is, in fact, armed and fully operational. Ignore all the telekinesis and other roles I'm making as they defend themselves.
I feel like this has some interesting implications for snow troopers. Hi, this is Beth, and welcome to GURPS Wars, a homebrew GURPS Star Wars game with plenty of banter. We are like at least 50% banter by volume, and that's on a small banter day. With me are Crash and Ellie and Eo, and what happened next to... That's a very...
What happened next time? I love that. Of all of the mistaken words to say, that is the best.
I say.
Everything turned out perfectly well. We saved everyone who could be saved, went home, and were lauded as heroes. That's what happened next time.
No. Next time. Okay, point. This is possible. I'm not sure about the lauded as heroes. Right.
What happened next time is we had to explain to Darth Shardanak what we were doing and why everything needed to be decontaminated. That's just my guess.
I mean, it's possible. So what would you be explaining to the loyal listeners at the moment about last time?
All of these dead creatures were like that when we got here.
The first rule of last episode is that we don't talk about last episode.
That makes the
There
recaps complicated.
Yes, well, actually makes the recaps much simpler. It's just that nobody knows anything.
There's also someone over there with an apprentice sword that popped out right after we finished combat.
Yes, you had combat with 3 humanoids who are all kind of grayish and spiky and have little teeny eyes and big sharp teeth and talons, and they're wearing the remnants of lab clothes and whatnot, and took
They're also spread over the room.
well, some. You did smack them around a lot telekinetically because we actually came up with some rules for that potentially include fatigue spending.
I refuse.
I know. You'll have to get an energy reserve. If you get energy reserve, then you're not technically spending fatigue.
Well, and Sen got to use their lightsaber staff a lot, which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuxa got to poke people, which was less fun.
Yes, and Tuxa did psychometry on one and then worked on killing it via first life drain, which didn't actually work because it made its HT roll much better than she made her life drain. Or at least...
And then lightning,
better.
which it had the indecency to survive.
Yeah, for a while. It has a little skull on it right now, so eventually it did in fact perish.
Yes, but not of the lightning. Sen had to stab it.
Yeah. It may have perished on a subsequent there. So then, out of the nearby door down the hallway, popped out a somewhat more upright, spiky humanoid that is wearing the remnants of acolyte clothing and wielding an acolyte's training saber. And out of character, Eos said, "Oh no, a net ghoul," which was just too good, and I actually could not think of anything better to top that. And also, it rolled a fascinating roll, so I'm going to have, and I had to actually think about that roll for a little while, so I ended it there.
Also, I have measured if I'm throwing the enemies that were defeated last session at this new enemy where they're standing, it's only a -5 for range.
I love how you say only. That is what the high levels are for. They're to absorb the penalties.
No, the high levels are there because I went up against a literal god and didn't win. Next time, I will.
It was a small god.
Semantics.
Sometimes I forget Ran has overconfidence, and then I remember.
And then you are reminded.
Oh wait, no, it's not overconfidence Ran has.
I mean, yes, but that didn't provide any additional points.
What are you at your max disads? Yes, you're at max disads.
His overconfidence is because his telekinesis other is at 22 and his telekinesis self is at 20. That's his overconfidence.
I mean, we're not even sure if that's overconfident. It might be approximately confident. It's
overconfident the next time I roll a crit fail. Anyway, we have a plot to move forward.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's where I was just adjusting some of the walls here. Okay.
The walls are moving.
As I
They're in the
recall,
walls.
Yes. Well, they might be. As I recall, Ren made some comment at the end.
Use your words.
No,
You used to have
no,
them.
it was something like about can I help you or some such.
You look like you've been through a lot recently.
The individual, former acolyte, current horrible monster, looks at Ran and
Ran looks back.
around, looks at the others, starts making a strange barking, coughing. Ah, yes, and Tuxa also vanished right as I recall at the end of the last one. All right. Am I correct in that, Ellie?
Yes.
I thought so. Poof. Looks at the pair that are visible, looks around, looks at Ran, and starts making this sort of horrible coughing, barking sound.
Do you need some water?
It gestures with it one hand, the other still holding this training saber at everything, and continues to make that strange sound.
Can we infer anything from the gesture? Is it offensive, defensive, keep away, no, help?
It's more of the look at all this. It's sort of a wide swing of the arm that you can't see me do because this is audio. Anyway, it's a wide gesture that you cannot see because it's not a video format, and it encompasses all of the mess in this room of the space station, and you would interpret it probably easily as a look at this mess, look at this.
Yes, it is quite a mess, and most of it was like this when we got here, including the people eating other people and then thinking that they could run over and eat us. We weren't in favor of them running over to eat us.
You did
You,
throw
however,
the chair.
the eating was happening first.
Yeah. We threw the chair in self-defense.
This is true. You, however, are not running over to eat us, not currently eating anyone, and seem to understand what we're saying, which we much prefer reasoning, and I'm hopeful that that can happen now. Look, is there anything we can do? I'm not sure the GM can keep up that voice.
Okay, the GM is laughing.
Especially because Discord is censoring half of each syllable.
I mean, yeah, Discord does that. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's not filtering out entirely. It's filtering out like half of the bark.
Well,
Are we
okay.
in-
That
Are we in combat time?
you are not in combat time at this moment. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised by this. Right, Antuxa, what are you up to? Sneak,
Going
sneak,
around
sneak.
to the side.
Okay, I am, however, going to make a purr roll. Okay. Okay, it is not turning its head as if it notices Antuxa, the invisible, sneaking around to the side, carefully picking her way through the debris and a certain amount of gore that is, gunking up the floor here and there.
It's a shame because she's the best dressed out of everyone here, and no one can see her.
Uh-huh. Sten, are you adding anything to the conversation?
How long have I been muted?
All of it.
Well, we did. I think the last thing we heard you saying was that we threw the chair in self-defense.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I heard that. I heard that.
Ran, I don't think they want to buy that we're reasonable.
It
But they haven't
continues to make
attacked
that
yet.
It's making that horrible barking, coughing noise some more. I mean, honestly, it sounds like a
I think
bot.
we have some rations on the ship still.
Plenty of rations if you accept MREs. Not everyone does. Not everyone's wise.
They're definitely better than starving. Or whatever else is still edible on this ship. Station. Whatever.
Yes. And also, you do appear to be an acolyte. Would you prefer to be rescued? Note for the recording. There was silence after that.
Yes, there is in fact a silence where the creature seems to be regarding Ran, and then it makes that gesture with its free hand at itself. And Tuxa, what are you up to?
Moving.
Moving.
Again, as silently as I can.
Okay. You want to keep that stealth roll, or do you want to try for another stealth roll?
I want to keep that stealth roll.
Missed by 3.
Ran, Sen, do you want to make perception rolls? Hearing rolls, so you can tell where something's making noise?
I'm not sure
maybe?
I want to make a perception roll, but I will. No, I'm not going to click on will. I'm looking for perception. That's a different button
right
that
next
I'm not
to will,
as good at.
Ran, you observe. There's a little clatter over where approximately Antuxa is on the map, and you see some stuff moving that you didn't move.
I'm going
there's
to
a chair
ignore that
over
for
there.
now. We're having
Okay.
a conversation in a cafeteria. You don't turn your head at every sound.
Unless it's one of those invisible sleens, but hopefully there are no invisible sleens here.
If there's an invisible sleen, it'll be a smear. That's fine. Right now, I'm having a conversation with our new, hopefully, friend. Yes, you are likely concerned that your current appearance might cause some issues. You'll note that I'm still having a conversation with you.
There is more of the noise.
Would it help if we
Ren,
found
you're
something
not
for
the
you to
most
write on?
representative.
I am very much aware of this. However, there's a significant number of individuals back home that put aptitude above appearance.
Well, there's some.
And the ones who don't, I don't really care about right now.
Look, if I toss you a data pad, you gonna be able to work the controls?
The creature stares at Sen and puts one hand to its head like it suddenly has a headache and makes a growling noise. And Tuxa continues to move closer. And Tuxa, are you keeping one of your stealth rolls, or would you like to make another one?
Oh.
Oh no. Dear listeners,
I was about to say it would be hard for me to do worse.
That was a 17. That's a crit failure.
I'm going to spend my advantage my inspiration.
Spend one of your Cypher System XP and your inspiration
How
and your
would you,
fatigue.
if you were going to do something, actually, let's see. Is there some way that you could spend fatigue and use the force to not do that, whatever it was you did? Do you have any physical force abilities?
Not really.
Hmm.
The best I can do is combat reflexes.
And except that's more about
Yeah, I know.
reacting to things.
That's what, like I said, the best I can do. It's
Yeah.
an ability I can't use.
Your combat reflexes keep you from falling completely splat on your extremely dignified face, and no one sees you as you put your foot down on something that, well, you thought it was a sturdy bit of rubble or chair or whatever, but apparently there was an extremely slippery bit of womp rat that you didn't notice was there, and the chair goes. I'll just grab that other chair that's been created here.
My masterpiece.
Your masterpiece. The chair basically goes splittering off past.
Rand sighs and also puts his hand to his forehead like he has a headache.
It's just making. The creature snarls at the chair and glares and puts its both hands on its training saber in a more okay, that looks like a standard defensive pose. It's the ready to parry pose. And I don't know for sure if there's going to be combat, but I'm going to put you all in combat time.
Griffiths happened. Who just threw a chair?
And Tuxa kicked a chair across the room because of the failed stealth roll.
Oh.
No one gets to see Antuxa windmilling her arms to keep from falling down as the chair slid out from under her foot.
Yeah, and also that was kind of in character. Because Sen failed a perception roll and
would in fact be going who threw the chair.
Yeah.
This is apparently the I do physical comedy episode. Or not episode, adventure.
Ah, but no one
Yes,
sees
but
you
you-
do it.
Yeah, all of your physical comedy has been done while invisible.
Not all of it.
Okay, there was the spacewalk scene.
Go ahead and roll unquote for the initiative. Not that
Oh yeah,
it's
that's right. We're going into combat. We need to press buttons.
You might be going into combat.
Well, we're going into initiative order.
Yes. The critter has used its turn to be defensive. Apparently. Do I have a way to put that in? I don't know. All right. Sen, are you using yours to do anything in particular?
Then
Or is the asking about the chair the
Sen spent their turn being kind of baffled.
you are not making a hostile move?
No.
All right. Ran.
Right. Yes. I don't fault you for being in a defensive stance. There was an invisible lizard that did try to bite my head off earlier. It's amazing how many creatures are force sensitive. I kind of wish they weren't attacking us. But, in all seriousness, we have the room to take you back to... What's the name of our home planet again? I have totally blanked on it, and I know it's not Coruscant.
Dromankas.
Thank you.
Dromankas.
Would you like a free ride back to the land of lightning wanting to kill us?
You make it sound so nice.
I mean,
Give me
it is one of its nicer features, yes.
Do you have a diplomacy? You do have diplomacy skill, Rand. Give me a diplomacy roll.
It's one of the many skills I refuse to level up, yes.
Fortunately, your pre-gen had it at you made it by 1. You're talking in a calm voice and mentioning invisible lizards, and that is possibly going to help you. Let me just do a quick double check of rules while Antuxa says what her next.
Staying very still.
You are taking the waiting. Okay. Page 359. Let me just double check. I'm used to the 4E stuff, so this means that sometimes I have to check I'm used to
She's
3 and I have to
3E,
check
you
if
mean,
4E. Yeah. Okay. Influence. Okay. If you win, you get. You have made yourself. You made diplomatic comments, diplomatic body language, and Tuxa staying still and doing the wait. The creature stares at Ran. It goes out of the defensive, takes its sword hilt in one hand, and sort of makes a sweeping, not quite slow, but not immediately attacking you kind of thing. And I'm going to try that. What is with the dice right now?
Did something get another crit fail?
Yeah,
I have revealed.
They went to attack the air and missed.
They were attempting to attack the chair off to a. Well, let's see. Yes, I think that the thing goes. Dear. Okay. The training saber does impact the chair. The chair gets shoved a little bit, and the saber goes. Let's see if I can make that. Sparks come out, and the training saber basically cracks at the tip and makes a number of little small explosions that go up its emitter edges and goes dark.
Oh dear.
The creature snarls and flings the saber off to the side, which I'm not going to make it roll for, or maybe I will, because if I get another crit failure, I'm going to be extremely bemused. That is not a crit failure. Okay. It cannot fling it around the corner to hit Antuxa, but the saber does basically go broken training saber goes off and knocks the womp rat off the table, splat. Antuxa has combat reflexes like any good Sith and probably does not go eep or anything. Ran, doing anything.
Well, I personally would feel much more comfortable if you were still armed, believe it or not. But the offer remains. Would you like to come with us? We do not wish to be your enemy.
The thing appears to be squinting. Sen
is going to lower their lightsaber and deactivate at least the secondary blade.
Okay.
They're not putting it away completely because we are in a horror vid full of invisible lizards that want to eat us.
This is a good point. Also, if people want to scroll up a little bit, I just made another public roll that had been a private roll. So when Antuxa was first sneaking around, I gave the critter a hearing roll to see if it heard Antuxa.
That was also
stealth.
a crit fail.
And that was also a crit fail.
No wonder you were wondering what's up with the dice.
Yes, I am. This is 3 crit failures in one game already. I'm wondering what's up with the dice. Antuxa, You're invisible. A broken saber just went by you, knocking a womp rat. It's your turn to decide if you're doing anything now. And Tuxa has made her stealth roll.
Yes. I'm not actually moving between hexes, but I am.
One moment. I need to deal with something that just happened in real life. Can you mute, please? Sorry.
I'll pause. So, as I was saying, we are going to force the GM to make the NPC do a thing. What thing, we don't know. But we're all just holding patterns until the NPC does the thing. And this amuses me greatly.
That's what Antux is up to?
Pretty much. The people person is staying silent.
Yes, why is Rand the negotiator? Because he's the only visible one who doesn't have bloodlust. That's why.
Hey.
I was going to say, I'm fairly certain that EO's thing in Discord was lighting up because of a fan. Not because EO was saying anything, but still.
Okay. The creature is clutching at its head in ways that are reminiscent of the sort of thing that sometimes you get from masters who really wish that their brand new apprentice was not doing whatever the thing is. Although there's, or possibly like it has a raging migraine. It's a little hard to tell.
I don't suppose there's anyone who can, help with either a raging migraine and or possibly someone force sensitive affecting somebody else who's force sensitive with powers from an unseen vantage point. Which, for the record, we can take more than one person back to Dromenkos with us.
That, for some reason, after it digests what you're saying, it's like it's having trouble comprehending your words sometimes. It makes a snarling.
I think whoever else it is might be the one at fault for this whole nonsense.
Well, that would cause some problems, yes. However, any victim still able to reason. Look, the people who were basically space wheelchair bound, were they lords or Darths? In the B plot that we decided to focus on for the longest time, instead of doing this A plot,
lords.
We encountered... Okay.
Those are lords.
There seems to be some trepidation about whether or not current events have made individuals be unwelcome back on Dromenkos. We have seen lords who were far less physically capable, and still lords. Recently, still highly respected, we did their taxes for them. I, for one, would like to see a peaceful resolution to what is clearly an accident.
It's not about their physical condition, Ran. It's about, everyone looking at him and going, whoa, an alien. But,
I imagine to someone who's never had to deal with that before, it would be quite unnerving.
The creature has gone to that barking cough again and points at Sen.
Yeah.
Sen is not just an ally or co-worker of mine. They're a friend.
For some reason... For some reason, the creature makes more... Is that laughing? It might be laughing. It's either laughing or it's trying to speak and it hurts its throat.
Would you like a data pad?
It gestures with both hands held out as if it's shaking something. The hands, by the way, do not look... I mean, you got the 5 finger... Well, you've got some number of fingers. It's a little hard to tell in the darkness, even with your good light, your good eyesight. It's got thumbs, and it's... Let me see if I can upload the image that I used for that. Yes, Dickens, you're very helpful. You're so helpful. You're just the most helpful cat in all the world. Let's see if I can get the image that I wanted here.
I just learned I was still using the measuring tool after all this time because my character hasn't moved at all.
Oh no.
I just want to give you a larger image of what it looks like.
Oh, so its fingers have built-in styluses.
Yeah, which is not necessarily great, and you're not entirely sure if it has all 5 of its Oh, well, it's got the thumb, and it's got some number of fingers, and it's spiky, and it's wearing a bit more than the image there. It's got something still covering, longer. They used to be acolyte clothes. They're not brown. They're that sort of gray color.
Look, we are trying to have a conversation, and you're clearly getting frustrated by your ability to communicate exactly what you want to say. I'm trying to find options.
It stares at everyone it can see, lifts its head, shrieks horribly at the ceiling, and goes back into the room.
Are we still in combat?
No, but let's keep in combat timing for making sure everybody gets to do what they're doing.
Okay. Then whose turn is it?
Yours.
Okay. 1,
Actually,
2,
wait.
3, 4, 5.
Actually, it should have been Sen. Sen, your turn.
Well then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sen, you go.
Well, I think we need to find whatever's controlling it.
Yes, perhaps they'll like to explain to us why they thought this was a good idea.
And Tuxa. Actually, Ran, you can take your move now, unless Sen's going to do a move.
Nope.
Okay, Ran, take
Okay.
your move.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And Tuxa. And Tuxa nips around the corner, invisibly. The door is left open. It has not automatically slid shut. The critter has only managed to walk so far into the room. It's a sleeping dorm, basically. There's bunk beds. There's a very short little hallway there. There's probably a fresher around the side. It's a reasonably logical layout, anyway. There does not seem to be anything else in there. The beds are kind of trashed, like, they're built into the wall, so they weren't toppled. But the bedding is
Amateurs.
trash. The pillows are, yeah. It looks like something is possibly occasionally raged around in here, hitting things, clawing things up, etc.
We can faintly hear the sounds of Linkin Park playing on the MP3 player that's still under the bed.
No, nothing's playing under the bed. It would have been crushed by now.
Not
Anything
if
you're
the bed
doing
is firmly
into
attached to the wall.
Apparently not.
Mind probe, missed by 1. Okay. The creature steps further into the room and makes another scream and basically does a very undirected poor creature's force storm, which is basically lightning that's just sort of hitting anything that's right directly in front of it, which would be the remnants of the bunk beds. Sen, you can hear another one of those horrible screams and the somewhat distinctive sound of force lightning.
I think that right now we should walk on by and look for the actual enemy.
I agree. They need some space.
Sen, have you taken...
I've moved a little.
Okay. Ran.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can just barely see them attacking their beds. So we're going to go look around the rest of this place and see what we can see. It is not our intention to leave without you if you choose to come with us. But you don't have to come with us now.
And Tuxa.
I'm going to have to succeed at a roll at some point.
Mind probe. You
Made by
did. You
5.
made it by 5.
Appropriately
what are
named
you-
I Grow Tired of Asking.
So,
I'm looking specifically for a memory of where whatever is controlling it might be.
let's see what I want to get a mind shielding or will, whichever is higher. Do you even have mind shielding? That's what I thought. It's contested roll, and you win. Okay. And you're looking for what controls.
Yeah, if there's something like, not necessarily what's controlling it, but where's the bigger fish?
If what you get is not a bigger fish, you get an equal enemy who is somewhere, an impression of a different set of hallways, my turf versus your turf, different turf. You're also just because you're getting a lot of it's all their fault, it's all their fault, it's all their fault, which is a vague translation. The creature turns around and hits the wall near the door with lightning in a way that is very much a "oh, go away" lightning. You were right there in their mind. This is a "go away" lightning. This is not an "I'm attacking" lightning. You do not, in fact, get your danger sense tingling as you would expect.
Okay.
There's possibly a sense of a lot of Sithly rage, twisted and warped and not being held in check nearly as well as anyone might like, honestly. You're in there. You got a mind probe. You get a few things around the edges. Then, I'm just... You people could always start combat. I'm just going to keep you in combat turns for a little bit here. Actions...
Yes. I would like to, I'd go further, but I can't get past Fran.
I mean, you can sidle past, I assume.
I'd be ending my turn in his space.
You could
Yeah,
always
okay.
Oh, wait,
start
I
moving
can
around
do that.
them.
You can do that. That's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
It would make it very awkward if I was trying to fight him, but I'm not.
If necessary, I will slide you off the edge and move Ran around if Ran cannot move himself.
I dodge. For the record, that was telekinesis self made by 5.
Who are you dodging?
Sen.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I just, somebody grabs the cell that has my animated character on it and pulls it up so that Sen can go underneath and go past. And then lowers it back down again.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Are you moving yourself in any way?
Well, when it's my turn, I actually do intend to continue onwards, yes.
Go
But is
for
my
it.
turn? Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just going to gently, made by 10 for telekinesis, close the door, give them their alone time. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I need to show you a screenshot of this because this is hilarious to me.
Oh no. You're seeing
This is
through
not
things.
fighting with Foundry. This is amused that Foundry is broken in this particular way.
How are you seeing all that? I fixed those walls. Okay, let's fix that wall better.
As I said, that is
Should-
hilarious to me. Not that I can see through the walls, but that I can see through the walls in very specific ray tracings with large gaps in between. It's not so much a wall
so
as it
weird.
is Venetian blinds.
I will fix every single one of these dadgum Venetian blinds.
In any case, that's my turn, because I don't think you're going to let me telekinesis other all the doors in the building.
Let's not just now, no. I am going, however, to go back into this version and take... And how can you still see there? You should not be able... There should be no sight there. Okay, good. That's fixed now. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I will extend the doors so that you cannot peek through the door cracks. I will make comments about boundary. Excuse me, what's that? That's that wall. Yeah, I'll move that since I'm moving the doors.
I'm wondering if it's specifically about how this map is made, because I don't normally see this on other maps.
I mean, it's how I put the walls in, and apparently I didn't get the walls lined up properly, so.
Whenever
And
I'm doing that, I
Tuxa.
try to get the circles to be on top of each other.
I did, I thought. Not enough.
Anyway, and Tuxa.
I'm toggling everyone's combat state. You're not in combat.
Ah, that's why I like permission to do things.
Apparently. Are you now permissioned?
The warning just went away. This
Okay,
happens
good.
every time you toggle combat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a bar on the screen doesn't really affect me.
And Tuxa. You're all right. As you walk past the now closed door that has the critter behind, there is a hallway with doors along the left-hand side of it and a door at the very end.
Okay. And Tuxa drops the invisibility as soon as she comes level with Ram. Well, he seemed nice.
You know, comparatively, I think he did.
Yes.
Also, he's very upset about someone else on this station. Another creature like him. They're having a turf war.
We should probably go say hello.
He seems to think it's all the other one's fault. What do you bet the other one thinks the same about him?
We'll find
Well,
out.
that depends. Is the other one an acolyte or higher ranking? If higher ranking, it may very well be their fault.
But even if it is, I bet they'll probably still blame their acolyte.
Well, we have known a few lords and darths who had adverse reactions to blame. Yes. I wonder what's behind this door. I now know what's behind the door.
Which door do you mean?
I'm telekinesis othering this door to open it.
Okay, go ahead.
Made by
Click
8, so
the
if it's
door.
locked, I'm still attempting to open it.
It's another double bunk bed. And yes, I see that. I wonder if it's the hexes that
Oh, look.
do that.
I found a fresher. I'll check for paladins.
No paladins in here.
Okay.
Empty.
One should always check for paladins.
You never know where you might have a paladin infestation. Okay.
And once you let one in, then everyone starts multi-classing. Even the tabaxi.
The tabaxi started the multi-classing. Well, I had the idea. I had the thought. Okay, I'm just going to extend some of these walls invisibly a notch and see if that
I know you've
stops
already
you from strobing.
seen what I saw when I went through the door, but
Yep,
this one's
It
a blurry
strobed.
mess.
sure are messes. Okay. Rand vanished in there for a bit. And just a moment, I'm being paged.
I come back out as everyone hears the sound of a fresher being freshed.
Well, we've been
Oh.
playing for about an hour, so how about we take a legitimate break instead of the GM is being paged extracurricularly.
Go do your homework. We'll be right back after these messages, which there aren't any messages because we're not sponsored. You know, I'm very proud of the last few jokes that were said. It's a shame that they won't be in the recording because I only just now unpaused.
You people drive me. Okay. Right. You're in a hallway. Rand vanished into a room that he opened the door telekinetically, as usual. I mean, this is just sort of the default. Does Rand touch anything? No. Rand is just going to hover around as soon as he figures out how to make himself levitate.
Look, hands are only necessary for gesturing with the force. Once you have force powers, you don't need to touch anything else.
Yeah. Oh, that thing. Oh, no.
Yeah, this is the extended version, GIF.
Yes, the extended smacks himself with the pan. Okay. So Rand wandered in, came back out,
You heard a toilet
and
flushing?
Well, at least the plumbing still seems to be working.
I mean, Rand came out before we could see any signs of the refresher overflowing. But yes.
Indeed.
And the door is closed again.
And Tuxa moves on. Anything you want to
And-
do at that location?
I'm trying to open the door. It's locked.
That door does appear to be locked, yes. Rand rolls 17. A 17 is a failure, Rand.
Yes, but that was also a D20. I had muted because I was coughing, and while coughing, I was clicking very much on the wrong buttons. Let's try this again. I unlock the door. Possibly by putting it on the other side of the wall.
Made by 13. Let me see if the door can hold against such. Oops, I had.
It underestimates my power.
The door. These are doors that slide into the, into the pocket, basically. So, are you sliding? Are you sliding the door? Or are you opening it forwards or outwards?
Oh, no, it's designed to slide, so I'm going to slide it.
There's a horrible crunching noise as the door slides into the pocket.
I love how you moved the door physically on the map.
Thank you. I was proud of that. I hope it worked well.
Oh, look,
It's
a corpse.
Yes, there's a corpse in there. And
Put
it's...
the candle back.
I can't. We have to have the GM move the door again.
That door is probably not going to be going back easily, or at least it certainly won't lock again.
I'm fairly certain that I have a solution to that problem.
Yeah, it's called crunch. Crunch.
It's the solution and cause of all of our problems.
There's a body in there. It's basically looks like... Actually, let me...
It's moving.
No, I moved it. The GM has moved the body. Pray I do not move it further.
I could do that too. Look.
Yes, I know. It looks like someone was staggering away from the door. There's a horrible blood smear. They collapsed. Sen, are you catching up with people or anything?
Yes.
Okay, you can do that since...
No, I can't. Foundry's lagging.
Oh. Boo. Anyway, there's a dead body in there. It looks like they managed to lock the door and then got a little ways in and collapsed of blood loss or something.
Well, it would probably be a horrible idea to go in after them.
Says Rand, walking into the room.
It's like I always say, if you're going to go, best to go at home.
Rand, makes a perception roll. What are you attempting to perceive?
Anything and everything besides the dead body. But also the dead body, because we've known dead bodies to get up and have conversations with us. Sometimes the conversations were more growls and grunts and trying to bite us, but still.
Yes, well. The body appears to be dead. There's a pool of dried blood. It looks like it's been dead for... It doesn't smell good, okay? This is not a refrigerated body.
Sometimes I still smell the swamp. This is fine.
I'm just glad I have my respirator on.
Yes, that's true. You people are wearing respirators, so maybe you don't smell this. It's not it's dry in here, but it's not dry enough to have mummified, so it's a little much. The blood is all horribly blackened. Looks like dressed like a scientist of some kind.
I'm going to search
the rest of
body.
the room is not. You're going to search the body, okay? Give me a search roll. And while you're doing that, Antuxa?
I'm proceeding down the hallway.
Okay. Sen,
Yes.
while
I
Ran is
will
searching.
help search the room.
Okay. Sen is going to vanish into the room. Antuxa, you're alone in the hallway. The hallway that is not very well lit. It has like some emergency lighting going on. It's fairly dim, flickering, the usual.
Hooray.
Sen, make your search roll for the room.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
it was a
good at
tidy.
that, but not that good at that.
Yeah, it was a tidy room.
Also, I can't get in.
You can't get in. You should be able to get in. There's plenty of room.
No, there's walls in the way. Okay.
It was a tidy room, Sen, before you searched it. Nothing had obviously come, there's beds, there's the little, compartments that have spare clothes in them, that kind of thing. Ran, you've made yours by 6. You searched the body. I'm going to presume you used telekinesis other as needed, because touching it is ew.
I don't know where it's been.
Here. Very much here. There's...
That makes it worse.
When you flip it over, you find a data pad in the lab coat pocket.
Oh, look, technology.
That
Everything
might tell
else-
us something.
I look at the data pad.
Is anyone mentioning... Antuxa, what are you up to?
I'm going to try this door, but if it's locked like the other one, then I'm not going to be particularly concerned about.
Well, go ahead and click on it if you wish. It appears to be empty. It's another pair of bunk beds, obviously visible down a very short hallway. The beds appear to have been torn around like something went hunting through here, but it's not as messed up as it could be.
All right. I'm not going to bother with the fresher room. If there's nothing in there, then I don't need to worry about it. And if there is someone in there, I don't want to bother them.
Ran has wandered out.
I do this while looking at the data pad.
The data pad is an unlocked data pad. TISC. Their security is terrible. It appears to be a lot of biological gobbledygook. Give me an IQ roll and don't crit fail. Made by 1. Okay, biotics. You're currently doing a favor for a Lord of Biotics. He said this was a technology station. Biotics and technology frequently have turf wars. As near as you can tell, you're looking at biological stuff. Things about stems and poisons and antidotes. Politically, this place is extremely either biotics should have been in control of it or something. If technology didn't have biotics in on this, technology has offended biotics mightily. This is kind of a political conflagration in the making.
Not my sphere, not my problem.
No.
Except that I'm on this station. Therefore,
It's kind of your problem.
I have decided
Let's just
to make it my problem. And
let's
everyone
just say
will suffer
that
for
if
this.
biotics, if biotics had proof that there was this kind of thing going on, then there's a non-zero chance that what would have happened is a biotics warship would have shown up with a whole bunch of biotics apprentices to come arrest anyone who didn't resist and kill anyone who did. Very quietly out in black space, it never happened. But,
I'm imagining
that's how angry it...
that gif of in the darkness you just see 20 or so red lightsabers ignite.
Pretty much.
Okay. So as I'm coming over to the open door where Tux is on the other side of it, and I see just from the cursory glance what you told me about the data pad. Oh, And Tuxa, you seem to have an interest in intersphere goings on. You might appreciate the ramifications of what's on here.
Oh, all right. If you're through with it.
It's a bit bloody, Antuxa. You just might want to know that.
Yes, everyone made fun of me for wearing gloves all the time, but now that we're in a horrible massacre, it seems a sensible thing to do.
Whoever said I touched it to begin with?
Yeah, well, that's fair.
It is certainly not something you would necessarily want to be touching. It's true.
You have to admit, I've come a long way. I only use the hand sanitizer now when I have actually touched a corpse. Or, something that gets left behind.
I can't help but think that this data pad is something that would be filed as evidence number, insert 4-digit number here, provided that Biotics doesn't use the aforementioned other means of dealing with this particular situation.
Indeed. Well, this all looks delightful. So let's continue finding what we find.
And not finding what we don't.
Then, what are you up to? You've tossed the room. Nothing interesting, really.
Well, everyone else seems to be doing politics, and they seem to be having a good time with that. And I don't have much to contribute to that.
Rand doesn't necessarily care for politics, but he knows that, and Tuxa sometimes has an interest in that, being the social one who actually knows people.
She knows a lot of people. So what I'm getting from this is that someone in Biotics is going to owe us a big favor.
They already will, but the favor might be a bit bigger than before.
Can you imagine that a poor elderly lord wandering through this thing?
No.
I mean,
Thinking
there
about
might
how he
actually
has
be. Oh, you're referring to a different elderly lord.
Yes, the one you're doing the favor for. The one who is hopefully spending time with his grandchild.
Child-proofing a
I wonder
biotics
if
lab.
he wants them. I wonder if he'd like to hang out with a slightly mutated. Why can't I move? I mean, slightly might be, but
Slightly might be understating it.
If we find some notes, he might be able to reverse the effects, or at least mitigate them.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
On the other hand, if he stays this way, it would be a fascinating project to translate his growls and gutterances. And he does still have all his fingers, it looked like.
At least most of them.
What are the chances that the technology already exists that a voice box could be not digitally, but could be somehow cybernetically added so that it would be able to speak for him?
Maybe. It all depends on what's happened in that throat. Or that brain.
Well,
You just have to give him one of those. You'll have to give everybody one of those implants that lets everybody understand Huttese.
Mhm.
It's weird how everybody just knows that. Anyway.
Utini.
You continue on down the hall. There's another couple of doors before the door at the end of the hall.
I suppose it's not particularly complex. It's not like it's the binary language of moisture evaporators.
Another empty room, apparently. It looks like it's been thoroughly scavenged through by things with claws. There's an empty snack bag.
Ooh. No. It's not an MRE snack bag. Never mind. False alarm.
False alarm. That was pretty good. Another empty room.
Another empty room. Again, fairly trashed. And a door at the end of the hallway. Dun, dun, dun.
And a monster at the end of the book.
Possibly.
Well, that's me.
And there's a map transfer. 3 coming from
Brace yourselves.
Just a moment.
Wrong
Okay.
star game.
Let me go back to yours and copy you. And let's double check. Okay, that goes to quadrant 3 from quadrant 2. Okay, paste and put you on the map on that side. And let's make this one let me double check that I have all my walls in place. Double check. Can you
You
see
teleport
what
us
I want
over.
you to
Everything
see?
is Venetian blinds.
No, better not be. Oh, come now. I'll put you all in there. Okay. And now I will activate that one. You're in another hallway with 4 doors off to your left there. Same direction as I said before. I hope I didn't say, right, the other right. No, they're off to the left, south, and a door at the end of a hallway.
Well, I'm going to open every door I pass.
Okay. Oh, look, another moderately trashed thing.
I close the door.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of the womp rats nesting, sleeping, large things in that one.
That door
Did you
can-
open that door in any stealthy fashion?
Oh, heck no.
You hear a lot of shrieky noises from the other side of that door that you just closed.
I'm just going to try to hold this door shut until the screeching noises go away.
Are you mentioning why you're busy holding the door shut, just out of curiosity?
Based on your description, I'm fairly certain that I don't need to say anything. My mistake has been plainly laid bare for all on this level of the space station to be aware of.
Oopsie?
I don't say that particular word, no.
Oh, no, not oopsie. Just kind of oopsie. There that is.
I'm merely making a gesture that shows that I am intending for this door to stay closed for the foreseeable future.
I mean, that is rather reasonable.
I believe there actually is a perfect GIF for this.
So we're not going in there?
I mean, you may if you wish to. I would prefer that this door stays closed. Womp rats aren't known for, waking up gently.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Do we want to wrap up now?
Yes, I think that's a perfectly good cliffhanger to end on. You're holding it against the combined telekinetic powers of a bunch of womp rats who upsettingly do in fact have telekinetic powers.
I mean, I'm still kind of proud of them. They're trying.
Yeah. Question is, are they all going to focus their will on doing the same thing at the same time in such a way that they will overpower even your made by 10 success? We'll find out next time. This is Beth. I hope you all had fun playing. I hope that people had fun listening. And is there anything anyone would like to plug?
EO's mom writes books.
At elizabethmccoy.com. And does Ellie have anything to plug? No?
Not the beef stroganoff.
So, Crash, do you have anything to plug? Good night, Ellie.
Be well, Ellie.
Yeah.
Well, podcast at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. Fediverse at is.aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel. Patreon at patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Patreons are Ellie, Shanshan, Walter, Liv Droman, and Patron Emeritus Cindy. And until next time, that's Beth saying...
That's Beth saying, scree.
Use your words. Use your words.
I mean, it would serve you right if they all went scree at you at once.
Also, we're looking for a Darth from Biotics. Have you seen a Darth from Biotics?
Good night, everyone.